Did you know humans on average spend at least 60 minutes a day eating? And in families with children, this time frame can be even a little more. My family is no different. Mealtimes comprise of at least 60 minutes a day. And with a young child at home, mealtimes can also be extremely messy affairs, which means we don't want to take it outside this dining section. But the dining area here is extremely uninspiring. We just have about 3 feet by 4 feet worth of space to experiment with, and the dining table and set of chairs itself actually fall into the corridor floor space. Now, while there isn't much we can do about expanding this space or even changing our furniture because this apartment came pre-furnished with this table and set of chairs, we can do a few things to make this nook look more lively and feel like it's got a personality of its own that's cut away from the corridor and the living space. Now, this can make our meal times a more joyful and fun affair. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to look at how to give this dining nook a makeover that makes it look far more vibrant than it is right now.
In this dining area makeover, we are going to be tackling 3 aspects. 1. The walls. 2. The glass window between the kitchen and the dining. And lastly, 3. The tabletop setup. Let's get started with the first, the walls. Just clean the walls to remove any dust and grime. Check the designs to see if the panels match and let it overlap just a little while you stick them on the wall so that they give that seamless look. Also, remove the backliner slowly so that you can smoothen the adhesive side onto the wall as you go, avoiding any air bubbles or creases. You can use a ruler to smoothen the wallpaper. So we've completed the first part of the dining area makeover, which was to put up some wallpaper on the wall. We went with a white brick sort of wallpaper design. Now we just ordered this off some e-commerce website available here, and we did one small mistake, which was we kind of underestimated the amount of wall we were going to cover, so we got our measurements a little wrong and we had to order a few decals again. And the problem with this is that the second batch that came to us was a little different in terms of the color and even the brick size. So if any of you are ordering, these peel and stick wallpapers on e-commerce websites, I would strongly suggest you get your measurements absolutely right and do it in one order and not have to face this issue. Alright, so moving on. The wall is done. Now this is the main wall for the dining area because the other wall that we have is actually shared with the kitchen, and the majority of that space has a window. So this is the main wall, and I always wanted to try out a propagation wall at home. So I think this will look really nice. So for that, I'm going to get started on a simple DIY, how to create a propagation wall at home. So this you can do in any part of your home, and it can bring a little bit of greenery again inside the house and add a freshness to whichever corner you're going to be putting it up in. So to get started on the plant propagation wall idea, I have some simple materials that I'm going to be using. One of them is the ice cream stick. I find that it's quite versatile and can be used in several places. I'm going to use this as the backdrop for the test tubes. Now the test tubes are going to hold the plant cuttings. So this is going to serve as a backdrop for the test tubes, and to give a little bit of space between the test tube and the ice cream stick, I'm going to be using some wood chips or wood slices as they're called on e-commerce websites. So I'm going to be using that, and it's going to be able to give me a little bit of gap between the test tube and the ice cream stick, and then this of course is going to go flat up against the wall. So let's get started on sticking these wood slice bits to the test tube and then to the ice cream stick. So to get this plant propagation idea going, one of the most important things is that I use a really strong glue to ensure that these test tubes don't fall and break, which could be pretty risky. So I'm using this epoxy fix glue. It comes with 2 agents that I'll have to mix and use, and it says here on the packaging that it's suitable for porcelain, metal, wood, marble, concrete, pottery and rigid plastics. It also says that it's a 2-ton strong bond. Apparently it takes up to 3 days for the bond to completely form and solidify. So we'll see if we can avoid putting in water and anything else into this until that bond is completely fixed. But after that it's supposed to be intact for as long as we want. So let's get started on this. So while we wait for the planter wall test tubes to set in terms of the glue, let's get started on another section of this dining nook makeover, which is this glass window partition, which separates the kitchen from the dining nook. It's quite handy, but the problem is that this is a small kitchen. We only have one sink here for the dishes, and all the mess that happens here is clearly visible from the dining nook. And that is something I do not like. So I would like to create some sort of partition effect in this glass window where the chaos of the kitchen gets cut away and the dining section looks more beautiful. So that's what we're going to get started now on. But before that, let's clean up this glass and then we will get started on this really unique DIY. So now I'm going to get started on creating a partition effect in this glass window. There are many ways I could go about this. I could just get a decal. You get plenty of these online these days, where it's going to give this glass a frosted glass appearance. But I wanted to try something unique, and for this project I'm going to be using ice cream sticks, and I'm going to be using them with these permanent adhesive dots, which is, they're transparent, so they're clear, and so that's not going to affect how the appearance looks from the other side of the kitchen, from the inside of the kitchen. So I'm going to be using these ice cream sticks in a very interesting manner. Now they obviously have the look of wood, and this particular color, which is this kind of beige, is actually something that is there a lot in our apartment already. This is a pre-furnished apartment, so the sofa here and some amount of the furniture here is already in this sort of particular shade, and we got a rug which is further again in this color. So it's something that flows seamlessly and I think it's going to look good. So let's try it out. So the partition is now complete. We created this with ice cream sticks, and it gives this woodwork sort of look. In fact, to make it look even nicer, to make it look even more authentic, like it's some kind of wood grill, you could actually give it a coat of varnish, of polish, and you could even do that by just rubbing some amount of olive oil or any other sort of mineral oil that you have at home, and you will see that even ice cream sticks actually have these grains that look really pretty. I'm not going to be giving it that polished look because the oil will make it just fall off. The glue drop won't be able to hold then, so I'm avoiding that. So it's time now to put these up on the wall, these test tubes up on the wall, and create our plant propagation wall. The plant propagation test tubes are now up on the wall. We've used epoxy glue so that the fixture is strong and permanent, but we've also reinforced the setup for now with masking tape to give it about 24 hours for the glue to really set. So for the plant propagation wall, I'm going to be choosing some plants that are truly fuss-free and very easy to propagate. My favorite being pothos, or the money plant. I have a couple of the varieties of pothos here at home already, and in fact some of them I've propagated successfully in this old beer mug that we don't use, and they've taken root really well. So some of them are getting a little leggy, so maybe I'll just use these stems as a base for some further propagation. So these test tubes have been up on the wall for about 24 hours and the glue has hardened, it has set in. So now I'm going to be adding water into the test tubes and then placing the plant cuttings inside it. And the final process, of course, is setting up the table. This table actually came with the apartment. This is a pre-furnished apartment and the table has seen some better years. Up front, up close, you can actually see that it doesn't look so great anymore. So I really wanted to cover it up with some sort of tablecloth. Now, I didn't want anything too modern. I wanted something with a little bit of a rustic, vintage flair to it. So when I found this piece, I was really happy because it's got this really nice vintage charm. It's got this lace doily work and some amount of embroidery work, which it gives a very soothing, calm look to the dining area, and it's something that I'm really excited to be using. I absolutely love having fresh flowers at home. I feel nothing adds as much life and color to a home as much as fresh flowers do. So we've finally come to the end of this transformation. What started off as an extremely tiny dining nook has now got a personality of its own. We managed to transform it into this lively, happy space where we can come together as a family and enjoy our meals. We've mostly kept things simple, but there are a couple of DIYs here, there are a couple of elements that we've put together, and I think it all ties together in a simple yet effective manner because the space is so small. We don't want to do too much to make it feel garish or done. But I think we've just hit the right chord here and it's become a very happy space for us. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe and press the bell icon to stay notified about all our upcoming videos. Thanks for watching and have a great day.